Coming to you live from downtown Windsor, this is a St. Clair College MediaPlex production.
Hello everybody, live from the Plex. I'm Luna Nudro, and you are watching the MediaPlex Insider. Tony cooked and so does Ali. So the competition is fierce. Let's watch together.
Hello, I'm Tony.
And I'm Ali. And welcome to the Duel of the Dishes. So, today Tony has hash browns for us.
That's right, some home-style shredded hash browns with some green onions, some bacon, some peppers, and some mushrooms on top.
I must say they smell delicious, Tony.
What did you bring today, Ali?
I brought crepes. Well, they're flour, eggs, milk, and a little bit of salt. Some sugar too. And I brought Nutella, bananas, and strawberries.
Oh my, that sounds quite delicious. Quite the sweet meal against the savory dish that I brought here today.
But the question is, which is the better one?
That's a question that's going to be answered by our two fabulous judges here today. Would you like to introduce yourself, Owen?
Hello, I'm Owen Cohut, student here at the MediaPlex and professional taste tester.
And I'm Zachary Balog, also professional taste tester.
Well, let's put that profession to the test.
I must say those turned out absolutely fantastic, Tony. The bacon adds an amazing flavor to them, I must say, because the potatoes are a little bland themselves, but all the toppings compensate for that, making a really well-balanced, savory dish.
Thank you very much.
My mom told me I shouldn't talk with my mouth full. But very, very good, Tony. These are very good hash browns.
Oh, thanks.
Well, what would you guys rate them out of 10?
If I had to rate them out of 10, I would give them a solid 8.
Okay.
I'd go with 8. I feel like these are...
Solid unanimous 8 out of 10. I'd say that's pretty solid.
That is pretty solid.
How are these crepes going to stock up? You think they can meet this 8 out of 10 level, Ali?
I'm too confident of myself. They're gonna pass that 8.
They're going to pass it?
I'm gonna pass that 8.
Heck, let's find out. Let's see what they can do.
I must say right off the bat, they look nice and fluffy. Are you ready for some dessert, Zach?
Yes.
All right.
Let's get to it.
Let's go in for that taste test. Topping choice is spot on, I must say.
Let's get it.
And that texture, it is a wonderful balance between the thickness of a pancake and the thinness I'm normally used to a crepe. It is fantastic. I think this is one of the best breakfast dishes I've had in a very long time, my friend.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Zach
High
hasn't tried
praise.
it yet. Yeah? You're about to try it.
I definitely do want to try these crepes after. I'm excited.
Now that is the type of sportsmanship we like at the MediaPlex.
That is superb. It's fabulous. Soft.
I'm thinking more than an 8 here. What would you rate it out of 10?
I think I have to give it a 9.
Whoa.
Yeah, that is... It's delicious. I don't know how else to put it. That is one of the best breakfast items I've had in a very long time.
Thank you. How about you, Zach?
Let me finish.
I'm going to take that as a 10.
He's enjoying the
Following his
moment.
mama's words. He's not eating while his mouth's full.
I'm still taking that as a 10.
I'm going to put 9.5.
Whoa, that's basically a 10. We can round that up.
Yeah, we always round up, not down. Well, do you want to try some, Tony?
Absolutely. I think hearing all this praise, I may just grab one right now. Oh man,
Probably the
that does
best crepe
feel
I've
really
ever
good,
had.
too.
Before you do that.
I will say, Tony, kudos to you for getting me to like a dish with mushrooms in it.
Okay.
That is pretty good
I'll take
praise.
it.
That's a compliment.
Yes.
That pushes up a grade at least.
These are tasty crepes.
Don't forget the toppings.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, this has been Ali Godola
And Tony Linguini.
in the Duel of the Dishes, and we all know who won.
That's right. We shall
Ali is our
celebrate
victor.
the victor of the duel of the dishes.
You're both winners.
Yeah.
You fed me, so you're both winners.
That's the beautiful thing about food. Nobody loses with a good meal.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Wow, guys, you did an amazing job with this food. So now let's head over to Zach with a look at the weather. So Zach, it's you that brought us this amazing weather today.
I take complete credit. And spring has sprung across Windsor, Essex, and with that means the chances for severe weather. So how does a storm become severe? A storm needs to produce hail up to 2 centimeters or larger, winds of 90 kilometers or more, or a tornado. And with every severe weather event comes the watches and the warnings. So what do those mean, and what is the difference between the two? Well, a watch, regardless of severe thunderstorm or tornado, means conditions are favorable for severe weather. A warning means that severe storms are imminent, or in the case of a tornado, already been spotted by storm chasers or Doppler radar. Now let's head over to your 3-day forecast. I don't see any severe weather in our forecast other than maybe problematic storms on Thursday with a high of 19, but tomorrow, overcast 12. Then on Friday, sunny with a high of 2 degrees. That's it. And Saturday and into the weekend, looking beyond into next week, double digits and some brighter skies. Back to you, Luna.
Dell had a front row set to all of the Blue Jays' fabulous run to the World Series. And today, Marshall Keown pulled up beside him to hear what he had to say about the glorious moment. Let's watch.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2-Minute Warning. I'm your host, Marshall Keown, and today we have a very special guest. He has played in the MLB for the Montreal Expos, Florida Marlins, and Detroit Tigers. Give a very special welcome to Toronto Blue Jays analyst, Joe Siddall. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Marshall, how are you doing?
I'm doing not so bad myself. All right, I got a couple questions here for you. I'm just going to pick your brain, and should be
perfect
over before you know it. So you had the very unique opportunity this year to not only call a game in the World Series or work in the World Series, but the team you were working for made it there. Unfortunately, a little heartbreak happened where they didn't win. Unfortunate, but what is the difference between your day-to-day preparation for a regular season game and preparation for a World Series game?
Well, that's a real good question, Marshall. And the reason I say that is because during the postseason with Major League Baseball and all of the rules that are in place, the days are very different. During the regular season, we have a lot of clubhouse access time where we can go talk to players, coaches. We do visit with the manager. But once the playoffs roll around, especially the World Series, there are specific times, and we're not necessarily allowed in the clubhouse now at all unless you're the game broadcaster, the play-by-play, and the analyst doing the game, like from Fox, the national networks, or ours. But you have press conferences, and the manager and a player or two from each team, the next day starting pitcher, will be in the press conference room. Tons of people in there, as you can imagine, the media coverage. So it is very different. I actually don't like that part of the season for that reason as much. Love the playoffs, love playoff baseball, love the World Series, but unfortunately we don't have that same access where I can grab a Blue Jays player anytime and just ask him something. I was able to get a couple of guys. I talked to Freddie Freeman on occasion, a couple of guys from the Dodgers as well. You can be out on the field and that can happen, but it's just not, it's just so orchestrated that and you understand because they don't want, there was Canadian media, American media, all of the Japanese media, there was media all over the place for covering this World Series.
From a media standpoint, we're going to continue on that topic. What's it like to watch a team capture an entire nation like the Blue Jays did this season?
As a broadcaster, we're starting to get used to it. I started this back in 2014, the last Blue Jays playoff runs were in 15 and 16 there. This was different, and it was so different because now we've gotten to a point where it's a new team now, and when Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins took over, it took a while. And if you think about their last few trips to the postseason, all losses, wild card losses, 2 and out, 3 straight times, or 3 times, 6 losses. This time, though, not only do they win the AL East, but then they get the bye, and then it's to the division series, the championship series, and it just felt like every series, each series there, it just kept building, and it kept building. And I can tell you, there is nothing like hearing 40-something thousand people in the Rogers Centre in Toronto singing "O Canada," like so loud they're almost drowning out the singer. And I mean that in a complimentary way, because it was a fascinating scene. And I keep saying this country, I also want to include, and Blue Jays fans everywhere, because we hear from them everywhere. We hear from Blue Jays fans in the UK, overseas, all over the world. Obviously, the country has just gotten behind this team, especially on the run that it went on. And unfortunately, in this game, the longer you play, especially when it goes into that calendar flip into November, and when it doesn't end your way, it hurts even more. That was a tough one for Blue Jays fans everywhere.
Yeah, so you had a very unique career, pretty typical within some people in the baseball world, where you were a player for several years and then you transitioned to being a broadcast analyst. What is that transition like?
A lot of it, to be honest with you, is utilizing your knowledge and your insight of the game, what you're seeing, the way you react to what's happening on the field, and you're doing it just in a different way now. You're doing it now from behind a microphone. And most of the time, to be honest with you, when I'm talking about pitch sequencing or analyzing a play or talking about how this pitcher is pitching going into the 6th inning and how he's saving his bullpen today, all of those things I'm talking about are things I talked about when I had a uniform on sitting on the bench, when I was catching between innings, talking to a teammate, talking to my pitching coach, talking to a manager. It's really just an extension of being a player. And I think I've always said that this is the greatest job in the world, because really it's the closest you can get to playing, talking about the game every day, being around the game every day, talking to players, managers, coaches. And when you can't play anymore, or when you choose not to play anymore, it is the next best thing, because I still feel like it's a little bit of that adrenaline rush that you feel like sometimes I'm still sitting behind the plate.
And I want to really capture that one thing. You said that it kind of brings you back to the days where you had your uniform on. What is the biggest difference from the players today, the prep they do before a game, the equipment that they're exposed to within the weight room, and just overall how far the technology has come in baseball equipment? What does that compare to back in the day when you played?
So I think more, first and foremost, when you started talking about the workouts and the things guys use, technology has, in every sport, and we've seen it in golf, we've seen it in hockey, and especially we've seen it in baseball. And when I say technology, it's the slow motion cameras that they have, the things that can be measured now. I mean, you can literally take a picture into their lab, and slow-mo cameras can see the grip on the ball, the arm angle, the hand position, the axis of spin on the baseball. They can really design pitches. It almost sounds like robotics.
Yeah.
But that's how good and how exact the science is now. In my day now, I'm a little bit older, so say 30 years ago, I'd be with our pitching coach, and he'd say, get the elbow up a little bit more and try to get out front with it. I mean, there wasn't too much more than that. There was more than that, but nothing scientifically, that's for sure. And I think, too, when you think about the information in the game, so we hear the word analytics, and it's almost like this boogeyman word in baseball or in sports now, because the old school, it's old school. I call it baseball. I don't like using the term old school. It's baseball. But we didn't have the information they have now. So we used to think if you were a hitter coming up, I had the scouting report right here because we had meetings before a series, and I knew that, okay, with this guy, let's start him hard away early, and then late you can get him to chase a breaking ball in the dirt. Or he really likes to swing at the first pitch, so let's be careful with that first pitch. That was basic information. Now you've got hot and cold zones of hitters. The catchers have wristbands to tell you every count, what they do, where you should go. If it's 1 and 2, you should go to this area of the zone with a harder pitch or a breaking pitch. And if it's early in the count, first pitch, this is where you should stay. So the information is through the roof. I would almost say sometimes to a fault, because as players now, and I watch this as a broadcaster, I think sometimes you can use that as a crutch and just fall into counting on that information instead of utilizing the information, but also utilizing that brain, because that to me is the best tool there is for any athlete.
Great. I want to thank you for your time, giving me the opportunity to pick your brain a little bit. But unfortunately, that is all the time we have for our show. I'm Marshall Kewen, and you have been watching 2 Minute Warning.
Thank you so much, Marshall. Who doesn't like chocolate milk? But the question is, who has the best? Kaylee puts our tester to the test.
Recently, I was witness to a debate here at the MediaPlex. It was a heated debate. Opinions were strong, and people were divided. The subject? Which chocolate milk is the best? I'm joined by Alexi, Marshall, and Owen. They're going to settle this strong debate here at the MediaPlex today. In front of us, we have 4 different kinds of chocolate milk, labeled 1 through 4. Now, gentlemen, if you will pick up your first glass and give us a little sip. And then while you're thinking about how the flavor is, Marshall, if you tell us a little bit of the criteria that you guys will be judging this on today.
So we will be judging this based on the milk triangle of excellence. At the top, we have how chocolatey the milk will be. At the bottom right, we have how thick the milk will be. And on the bottom left, we have how tasty the milk will be. All of that will be gathered up, and we will use that criteria to judge which milk is the best.
All right, so gentlemen, now, how good do you think chocolate milk number 1 is?
Honestly, it disappoints on the chocolate factor. I find it not chocolatey enough, too milky, though it is a good texture.
I do find...
Oh, sorry,
I'm
Marshall.
sorry.
No,
I thought we
please.
were going in order. My bad. I do find it very milky on the taste scale. I do not find it as chocolatey as I would like, but the thickness is good. It does have a good percentage to it.
Okay.
Very tasty. The texture is very nice, and yeah, what can we say on that?
All right, so gentlemen, cup number 2.
Okay.
I will say, noticeably more
Yeah, different
gray
texture, different.
Different look,
Scary.
different texture.
Scary.
Yes, much like
I
haunted
promise they have not been tampered with, other than the normal amount.
I hope so.
Surprising.
Take a moment, let it settle in the
Need another
palate.
sip.
I had to do that with cup number 1.
All right, let's start with Alexi. I know you're very serious about your chocolate milk.
Texture is very different. I guess you can say like it still has like the chocolatey in there.
Okay, all right. Marshall?
Chocolateness is at a good factor. It's pretty strong, pretty at a good median level. I will say it's a little thicker than the last one, but not too thick, so it's not like a chocolate shake. But I will say the taste is almost there.
Owen?
I very much agree with Marshall. I do think that chocolate factor is definitely upped from cup number 1. Although I'm noticing a bit of an artificialness to it, so I'm curious as to what
Definitely.
brand that might be.
Interesting, interesting.
Its thickness is very nice. It's a good consistency, and I'm not getting any milk tones at all.
Okay,
which
so if
is
we were to
nice.
say pit 1 versus 2, what are we
I
looking
would
at?
say 2 is up there right now.
I'd
Goes
say
2,
I'd say
then
my
1.
vote's on 2.
Yeah, I guess you can say 2.
Okay, so to make this simple, let's sort of March Madness it as we go along. Now, gentlemen, cup number 3.
Okay.
Definitely browner in color, bit darker.
Color's very different.
Oh,
Yum.
Different.
Getting serious.
Now, may I say something?
Please, please.
I do find that cup number 3 tastes more artificially than cup number 2. This one kind of reminds me of the Max Milk jugs that you'd get for like $1 for 2 liters in the little jug, but that's just me. I would say that it is pretty chocolatey. Thickness is good, but taste is a little artificial.
Okay, Owen?
I was going to say it's actually a little thin for my palate. It's not quite as thick as 1 or 2. The chocolate factor is nice, but again, as Marshall's saying, there is that artificiality to it. It's reminding me of like the aftertaste of a Costco hot fudge sundae. if anything.
Okay, interesting. And Alexi?
I think for me, like I do really can kind of see like the color's a bit different. But I think from my point of view, I kind of see like it kind of has like a little bit of a like nostalgic taste, if that makes sense. It reminds me of the chocolate milk that I used to drink as a kid. So
Okay. All right, gentlemen.
final one.
Cup number 4.
Last and maybe least, who knows? This looks like
This looks like water.
steeped tea. It's
No.
Yeah, this is fourth. This is fourth. This is definitely fourth.
Okay, so obviously not the favorite.
Not the favorite.
I don't know
that
what
tastes-
this is, but it is not chocolate milk.
Ugh.
The best I could describe that is that tastes like a white chocolate lint ball.
All right, I'll put you out of your misery. 4 is Nesquik mixed into the Circle K regular milk.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
All right.
That definitely makes sense.
So, since that's definitely not the favorite, of the 3 then that are remaining, 1 through 3, what do we vote is the best chocolate milk then?
I'm going number 2. I'm going to go number 2 on this one.
I'm going with number 2 as well.
Had good thickness, good chocolatey. None of them were like where I wanted the taste to be, but mind you, that's just an opinion thing. So I'm going to have to go with number 2. I thought it had a good chocolatey factor, and the thickness was to my liking.
All right, Alexi?
I would have. For me, it's kind of. I think it's the third one. It definitely gave me like a little bit of. Excuse me. It definitely gave me a little bit of like nostalgia and kind of took me back a bit.
Owen?
I will have to go with number 2 as well. I think 2 and 3 were very close in terms of overall texture and non-milk factor. However, the chocolatiness of number 3 was a bit too artificial for my palate.
All right, so number 2, which appears to be the winner so far.
Let's see what number 2
Was-
is. Oh!
Lactania.
Love that. I've never had that.
I don't think I have
Well,
either.
now that's your new favorite
It
chocolate
is
milk.
I've had that as well. It's pretty good.
All right, and number 3 was
Oh, of course.
the famous Circle K chocolate milk that
But
everybody was
if we look right there, we have
convinced-
the Max Milk
Oh,
logo.
see, there you go. You called it. And then number 1 was, of course, what Owen thought would be his favorite.
Ooh, the Nelson. I had that a lot.
I'm
we
honestly,
go.
it's 1%. That makes sense.
Surprisingly, 1% was all I could find.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your assistance in settling what is a very heated debate here. We've solved it with the brand Lactania. Apparently, that is the favorite chocolate milk here.
There is no better.
Thank you for joining me, Alexi, Marshall, Owen. I am, of course, Kelly. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Guys, obviously you had like a beautiful 4 cups of chocolate milk. For me, just 1. So now let's go to see together Faith-Filled Protection.
That's someone I want you all to meet.
Ta-da!
Thank you, Jesus, for today.
A choice between right and wrong.
Hello everyone, I'm joined by Doug Bart, producer of Faithful Productions. Now tell us about Faithful Productions and what you do.
Yeah, hi Grace. Thanks for having me on. So Faithful Productions is actually a local studio. We're technically in Maidstone, so just about 25 minutes from the heart of Windsor. And there we make a TV show that actually gets played all over the world. We're probably most well known on YouTube these days, but we are broadcast on a lot of different Christian television networks and things like that. It's a live action puppet show where we teach kids about the Bible.
Wonderful. Now you recently won an award. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes. That's the award that I'm holding here. So this is our outstanding achievement in online content in the children's category. And we won this actually in Nashville just this February. We were there for a convention. It's actually the largest gathering of Christian broadcasters in the sort of Western Hemisphere. And so we were very honored to win this award for our online children's content.
Now, where do you see Faithful heading in the future?
That's a great question. Well, as we know, kids are more and more online these days, and I don't really see that changing anytime in the near future. So we want to continue to be in what I call the digital playground. I think it's really important that we're meeting kids where they're at and helping them to actually redeem some of that screen time that they're on, making good use of it, teaching good morals, good values, because you know what, there's a lot of other content out there that they could be engaging in. So we want to make sure that they're engaging in something that's positive and helpful and is reinforcing lessons that I think parents would be comfortable with as well. And so that's kind of where we're going to continue to go in the future.
Well, certainly we're looking forward to seeing that Thank you so much, Doug.
Thank you,
and
Grace.
Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
3, 2, Dusty.
Action shot! Let's go now with Georgia. Of course, she has amazing tips today. Let's see together.
Life with Georgia. Today, I'm going to be showing you 5 life hacks you can use to clean your house. Let's get into it. Did you know that you can make DIY Windex with just 1 part vinegar and 1 part water? It works like a charm. You can also make an all-purpose cleaner with 2 cups of water and half a tablespoon of dish soap. An efficient way to save money on your Swiffer sweeper is to use a fuzzy sock. Just throw it in the wash afterwards, and there you have it. Take a pair of tongs and wrap a dishcloth around it to make a device to easily clean blinds. Need to clean your drains? Pour 1 cup of boiling water down your drain along with half a cup of baking soda, a full cup of vinegar, and 1 cup of hot water. Bubbles will start to come out of the other side of the drain. Just run the hot water and it will clean out all the gunk and dirt in your drain. Well, there you have it. Those were 5 life hacks that you can use to clean your house. I'm Georgia LeBlanc with MediaPlex News.
Thank you so much, Georgia, for these amazing tips. So now back to Tony, and Tony, he will talk to us about the computer. Let's see together.
Oh, I didn't see you there. So we all have these cell phones in our pockets, but did you know the extent of what you can do with that tiny device? Today, I'll shine a light on 3 cool features you may not have known about. To start with, did you know that Samsung phones can actually be used like a desktop computer? If you connect it up with an HDMI cable via a USB-C adapter, the monitor you are connected to turns into a full desktop-style experience. Take this further by connecting a mouse or a keyboard to the hub, and you have a fully comparable setup. You have access to everything you can normally do on your phone this way, including word processing in the Google suite of tools, browsing the internet, using your streaming apps, and even playing games. Speaking of playing games, you may not have realized the extent of what can be played on smartphones nowadays. Both iPhones and Android phones can play a whole host of retro games via emulation, spanning all the classic systems up to the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and even some Nintendo Switch titles. On Android devices, you can even play PC games right on your phone using apps like Game Hub and Game Native. Combine that with the desktop.
Thanks for tuning in. I am Luna Nudro, and you have been watching the MediaPlex Insider.